What's going on, guys? The UFC fan base is appearing to be sharing 3 chromosomes right now, along with some other news. And I was too lazy to make predictions for this week's fight card because it's abysmal. I don't know how else to say it. I don't even remember what it was. Garcia versus Onama. That is more than a nothing burger. Like, I can't think of anything worse than that. I would rather sit through Mackenzie Dern versus Jandaroba 10 times over with the main event of Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane 10 times over than be like, I will gladly take this main event. Now, would it be a good fight? Maybe. But any fight night, any Apex fight night should not have a main event that shallow. But we'll get into that. Not into that, but we're going to get into some other news first. Like I was saying, MMA fan base just lacks a brain. Aspinall DiCaprio. We'll get into that. Aspinall DiCaprio stripped Tom Aspinall. Where's that one? Tom got exposed. 30-27. Exposed. Sure, he got jabbed and his nose bled. What, like, is your nose just not supposed to bleed? If he didn't have a nosebleed and all the shots landed like right here or right here, would you be saying he got dominated? No. If you look back at the highlights of the fight, how short they were, Tom was landing shots as well. He was right there with him. They just weren't showing damage. But then there's people who have a brain. Saying something is illegal, then acting like it isn't makes the UFC lose legitimacy. And I buy that. Dana, the airhead up there on stage, is saying, like, Tom wasn't looking good and didn't want to continue the fight. Essentially. It's pathetic from Dana. It's pathetic from the fan base to have this mentality that this guy's career has been stalled. Just ran around, like, just put through the ringer of nothing happening. He comes back against an improved Gane. It's been years since the Jones fight. And Gane just gave him that guillotine. I don't know what that was. I'm not insinuating any behind-the-scenes thing, but, like, I don't know what that was. So Gane can improve. He looked good against Volkov. It was a close fight. I thought Volkov won, but he looked good. So God forbid he has a good first round against Tom Aspinall, and Tom can't get the finish in 2 minutes against the #1 ranked heavyweight in the world outside of himself. The expectation is so high that the fall from grace is so low. And it's pathetic from these fans who just have this mush brain mentality, this cousin for parents mentality. I don't know what's been going on. Now, this Gane should have been disqualified. Morally, I agree with it because Gane is a dirty fighter. He trains at the gym with Nasruddin Imavov. He trains with guys like that who intentionally gouge their fingers out for range. And the ref goes, don't do that. I'm like, okay, 1, 2 pokes. They get away with it, whether they're in France or not. But it was his first offense of the fight, so you can't disqualify him. But it's pathetic. I didn't want a disqualification because it was so early in the fight, and clearly Gane he was holding his own. He was doing well. He was a little ahead of Tom. I'll say that. But it was round 1. Anybody can start good, but can you finish good, or can you keep going through the whole fight good if it went the distance, which I didn't think it was gonna. But like, bad day to be a Tom fan. Why are all of them so triggered? Did you go to school and learn critical thinking, thought process, piecing things together with the connected pathways in your cerebral cortex? If a bullshit outcome occurs, and then a bunch of people who are John Jones dick riders that are just living vicariously through Gane because Jones isn't there, but he beat Gane, so therefore Gane represents Jones in a way. He did with the eye poke tonight. They say, why are they triggered when there's a bad outcome and it's an unfair outcome, and the narrative is he was getting destroyed 30-27. There are going to be people upset. I don't know how you get off trying to be a rage baiter. Like, it's kind of pathetic in a way. But people are upset because it was a shit ending. It was a really good card. It's a really hyped fight. It's movement in the heavyweight division, which we haven't had in years. And then it's like another logjam. Why? Like, let's use the thing in between our skull and just say, oh, that makes sense. This was kind of a bad outcome for all parties involved. it's just ridiculous. But we're gonna go into what these idiots had to say too. With these CTE riddled, oh my god, I had to say it. I like Chael. I like Chael for what he did for CJI. I thought stepping in on short notice was badass. He had previous history with Craig, so it was kind of funny. The double buggy choke was hilarious to me. But we'll just read it. Tom Aspinall said, I got poked in the eye and I can't see. If you got poked in the eye and you're injured, that's a different conversation. Now, I think he was injured. Maybe not like, oh, his retina was damaged. But when you take an injury, especially into an orifice, I guess you can call this, it's a hole in your body, there's going to be swelling. There's going to be blood vessels that do pop. There will be injury. Maybe not, I can't see for the rest of my life, because now all of a sudden, no long-term damage means he could have continued 5 seconds after a knuckle-deep eye poke occurred in one eye and a shallow eye poke in the other one. But you got poked in the eye and can't see. Generally in our sport, we continue through it. Chael. You're starting to make me not feel bad about Anderson Silva choking your ass out when you almost had it. You know what I mean? You're doing this to yourself. That's such a room temperature IQ take, because you've never been a champ. And Lionheart, who we'll get to next after this slide, has never been a champ either. They don't understand the monetary risk on the line. If Tom loses, half his paycheck for the most part, including pay-per-view points, gone. And he doesn't get any credit for that. He probably wouldn't even get an immediate rematch. He'd probably just be like, damn, the eye poke was kind of unfortunate, but Gon got it done. Like, these terrible things happen that affect fights, and then we just don't take them into account when we look back in history, and it just creates a terrible mindset as a fan base. So I don't like what he said. He didn't say anything outright just terrible. He just had a bad take. But this guy, Chael made a poetic point. You have to be used to or willing to fight with one eye. I did it in Singapore. You know what you also did in Shanghai? The last time I ever watched you fight? You curled up in a ball and got the shit beat out of you. What about the fight before that? Was it Dominic Reyes beating your skull in while you did 2-on-1 wrist control holding onto a single leg? Like, who are you to talk? You get whooped and give up every fight. I'm sorry, you step in a cage. You're cool, you're courageous, but as soon as you face adversity, you curl up in a ball, and you want to say you fought with one eye? You surrendered with one eye. You're like a pirate, brother. Come on. So, I don't like what Anthony or Chael said. I think it's a terrible take. Most of these MMA analysts, including myself, probably have some of the dumbest takes ever, but they're a lot dumber than me. My school bus has 12 rows. Theirs, 2. Not even 6. 2 of them. It's ridiculous. But you know who else will get into something? Well, who else we're going to get into that said something just stupid about this? And it's even worse than Lionheart.
Versus Cyril Gahn and what actually happened.
Well,
Complaining about that eye was complaining about the other one, which would look to me on camera, the right eyeball. Mind you, the reason why I think this does not look good, and I'm going to just say it straight, Tommy Aspinall was losing that fight.
It doesn't look good, you say. It doesn't look good because he was losing the fight. All right. It doesn't look good because he was losing the fight. I'm glad O'Malley slept you. Ooh, yeah. What just a terrible take. He was losing that fight. What does losing a fight at the championship level have to do with screaming your way out? When you're not screaming your way out, you have been eye gouged face deep, essentially. Your eyes were fine. There were fans saying, Jones did it with a broken toe, Pereira did it with a broken toe. You can do it with a discombobulated brain. Go for it, buddy. Like, you of all people should have some sympathy. You didn't retain a belt. You got a belt by getting fouled. and you're going to say Tom didn't want to defend his belt when neither of his eyes could work? Stupid. You lost that fight to Evloev now. That's my opinion. Stupid. But we move on to the final topic of this video. What's been going on with Top Toro? Ilya Toroyi. I think they're going to do Taporia versus Pimblett for the first Paramount card. I like it. There's a storyline. Hand sanitizer boy, he calls him. Paddy was being pretty anti-Georgian a few years ago on Twitter. I don't remember exactly why. I don't know about official. I don't want to buy into that narrative. They were saying that the contract wasn't signed, but all fighters say that, so one ear, not the other for me. I just think this matchup makes more sense than whatever else could be set up. Arman sat on his ass for damn near 2 years, doing nothing to prove that he deserves that shot besides making weight as a backup fighter when you ruined an entire event a day out, right? You shuffled up essentially 3 different divisions, 145, 155, 170. You shuffled up 3 different divisions with that one mess up you had. So he didn't deserve it. And sure, Gaethje's coming off was it split? No, I think it was a unanimous decision win over Rafael Fiziev. But what happened in your fight before that? Your exhibition that didn't count. You got slept out cold by Max Holloway, a guy in your division. It counts. You've had 2 title shots. You've been choked out in both of them. Yeah, you've been choked out in both of them. Why do you get a third? You're an entertaining fighter. I love you as a fighter. I'm always hyped to see you fight. I know it's going to be a war. You're a great fighter, Justin Gaethje. But the CTE is getting to you. You don't deserve a title shot. And all this time you spent complaining, saying you're going to retire, you could have taken one more fight to solidify that you deserve that title shot. Same thing Arman could have done. Same thing Paddy could have done. All of you are equally deserving of criticism, but you and Arman both have stronger reasons. Sure, Michael Chandler wasn't the best win at the moment he got it, but Chandler's a tough fight for anybody. He almost put Oliveira away in the 5th in the rematch. I don't want to say away, but he had him hurt, had him in trouble. Back of the headshots, call him out on that, but they wouldn't have counted him because cheating's legal in MMA, as Jason Herzog said. But Taporia makes the most sense. Gaethje, if you want to retire, you had a cool career, man. Arman's fighting Hooker. You can take one more matchup before you get your last title shot. I don't want to predict Taporia versus Pimblett, but I like it as a fight. There's a storyline. If it stays on the feet, it'll be fun. We know both these guys are jiu-jitsu background primarily, I think. Taporia had started his career with like all submissions. Paddy was slick submission artist, especially over at Cage Warriors with that flying triangle he got back in the day. It's a good fight. Sure, it doesn't make the most sense, but what fight would? I'm okay with it happening. But I'm worried about where Ilya's mindset is. Because of this. And I don't know if Ilya's really contributed to it. Maybe it's just Makhachev, which kind of ties into Makhachev's mindset that I'm also worried about. Because this is kind of just a summary of him talking about the potential fight between him and Ilya.
I think, yeah, for the, like, it's gonna be, like, big, like, for MMA community, it's gonna be a big fight, you know? And people want this fight, and...
So I won't play the whole clip because he's kind of mumbling like he does in every interview. But when he's driving in New York, he's screaming curse words. That was hilarious, though. He's one of the boys. Yeah, I don't like people talking about future matchups as if they will happen, as if they're going to happen when you already have a matchup booked, especially one that is a division up against a champion in Jack Della Maddalena, who's been training with Craig, who gave Volk the blueprint to nullify your grappling for the most part. And he doesn't have the size advantage this time. So he should really be focusing on Jack. I think Jack might win that fight. I'm a huge JDM fan. He's got slick boxing. He got taken down by Bilal, but he showed good get-ups, and he put that pepper on him. I don't like Islam looking past Jack, assuming that he's just going to fight Taporia. And I don't really know if Taporia is engaging in this too much. I don't think he is. But if he starts to engage in it, I don't like that either. Because maybe Paddy isn't the most deserving, but you never know what someone can do. Styles make fights. We saw that. Tom and Gon was competitive on the feet. Gon versus Jones, he gets submitted in suspiciously like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Styles are going to make fights, and I think you need to focus on every fight that you have ahead of you. I think Paddy has a good chance. He has a good chin. He's not going to get slept in one like Oliveira. He's got slick jiu-jitsu if Taporia wants to take it there. Islam's going up against a bigger guy. who is starting to get the blueprint method on how to beat the Dagestani wrestling with great mind like Craig Jones, despite how drug-riddled it is. But regardless, I don't want Taporia underestimating Paddy like he already has, and then essentially multiplying that by just thinking, after Paddy, it's Islam. Because it can come back to bite you, and you can see here in the most AI-generated video I've ever seen, Ilya is good. He's very good. And I don't want to say I'm eating my words, because I'm not saying anything objectively wrong. I'm saying it's a bad idea to look past your opponent, regardless of how good you are. GSP did it with Matt Serra, and he had to get that win back after getting embarrassingly chinned. I just care about Taporia's career. I care about Makhachev's career. I care about these MMA fighters' career in terms of not looking stupid in what you say. Like when Tom was talking about going into boxing or not fighting his teammate. Like, it's very, very dumb. And I want both of these gentlemen, as good as they are, to focus on their next matchup first before they're dreaming of fighting each other, because a few months ago, it seemed like Islam didn't want it. And I thought Islam would have won at that point. Now I think it's a bit more competitive. They both have a bit more size on them. I think 55 and 45, or I think Ilya would meet him at 170, sorry. I have MMA IQ right now. I just want both these guys to focus on their fight. Again, there's not a lot of news going on this week. Sorry for rambling, 16 minutes. I was hoping to keep this like 10, but I get a little passionate in some of these moments. Yeah, I don't like this just casual take on this fight. Like, let's have some objective thought process and just go, it was unfortunate, it was a close fight. I'm compelled to see what happens in the rematch. That's all you gotta say. And I don't like these people who are, yeah, look at this. This you? Like, getting babied? Yeah, I mean, you should have continued. Like, what? Like, it's such a from a UFC champion, this is extremely embarrassing and pitiful. And that's why I don't think he'll ever be 45 champ. And he's too butt buddies with Merab to want to stay at 35, where he was doing good and getting potential GO legacy until O'Malley slept him. Yeah, man, just a lot of rage bait in MMA, essentially, and just unfortunate situations. Like, good fight, bad timing. Why are we discussing this when it's not even a potential at the moment? You have an upcoming matchup. There's a lot on the line. Yeah, man. Just a weird time to be an MMA fan. Not like I've been one for long, only a few years, but I want to see this rematch. I want to see Cirogan be a clean fighter or get punished for being a dirty fighter immediately, because we know that he's prone to it against Aspinall. Aspinall's not immune to eye pokes. I want people to start using their cerebral cortex on the regular. I know that's hard to ask for in this day and age, but I want that to happen. And yeah, man, I'll try to do some research for this abysmal thing that we call a main event this weekend. I'm pretty casual, so I don't know how long that'll take me to do my research, because I doubt I recognize most of the names on that card. I could be wrong. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed my stupid rant into a camera for the first time, where I'm just keeping direct eye contact with you, like and subscribe, comment any video ideas. I was thinking about maybe doing like a fighter evaluation for fighters past, present, and like current, upcoming. Let me know if you'd be interested in something like that. But yeah, y'all have a good night. See you.